Hey guys, it's James. Another week has come and I decided it was time to do another vlog. Yes, I called it a vlog. There, Barbara. I said it. I said vlog, okay? So, I do actually have an agenda of things I want to talk about. There are three things I'm going to talk about on this video. So let's get right to it. The first one is, did you hear about the dumb girl on YouTube who robbed a bank, then posted a video on YouTube about doing it? Yes, yes, yes. This idiot literally actually robbed a bank, got on YouTube, made a video flashing the money, writing like the little letters, the little notes that are popular now with posting up and saying things that she actually robbed a bank and that she had the money, claiming that she was like a victim of the government who's going to pay off her student loans and go on a shopping spree. Now, I think she might could have gotten away with it, except for the fact that she actually wore the same outfit that she robbed the bank in the video. If she hadn't worn the outfit, people probably would have been like, psh, that's a fake, whatever, she didn't do it. But she did. So needless to say, this idiot has been caught. This idiot has been caught and arrested, and well, I guess we'll just see where this takes her, but I just wonder sometimes, is this like an indication of the decline of intelligence amongst the American youth? Because, I mean, it doesn't take much common sense for me to realize that if I do something bad, I don't post a video about it. Hell, if I do something bad, I don't want anybody videoing it. But it seems like more and more these stupid idiots out there are doing stupid things and videoing it and sharing it with their friends on the internet. We should all know that once you post something on the internet, it's there forever. No matter how hard you try, it's cached somewhere on some server and it's going to get out of your control. You're not going to be able to stop people from seeing it. So this is why people should think before they do things, especially before you do stupid things and post videos or pictures on the internet so that others can see what you're guilty of. It's just dumb. I mean, it's just plain simple common sense. Why? Okay, anyway. The next thing I want to talk about is I watched the news article online about this lady who was like 450, 460 something pounds, who like had lost a leg to diabetes, was in a chair, and she died over in like Hungary because she couldn't get on an airplane. And now her husband's like suing the airlines. Okay. So once again, this makes me think that we are growing up in a society where people think they are entitled to, or they have the "I'll sue you" disease, where people will just, what if they think they're wrong, they are wronged, then they will take you to court and sue you over the smallest infraction. But this is not a small infraction. This is a pretty big thing. This man's wife died, so I know he's full of grief and anger and rage, because I would be. But I found out more about the story. Apparently, she was in a wheelchair. She was on to get on one flight. They actually tried to get her onto the flight. There was a problem with the seating, and they didn't have a long enough seatbelt extension, so she couldn't safely fly. So the airline, instead of just telling her that they couldn't fly, that you can't fly, you're asked out, you've got to wait till the next flight. They actually called around, made arrangements with another airline so they could fly on their plane and go home. Okay, it was a 5-hour drive to go catch the other airplane. They went there, and apparently they couldn't get her on that plane. They said that they didn't have somebody there. It took like this special, took an actual lift to lift her up to the airplane, and it didn't have someone who could work the lift to get her on the plane. So it could have ended there, but no. This airline called a third airline to try to find a way to get her on the airplane. Another 5-hour trip, and the woman was at another airline. They couldn't get her on the plane on that airline also. Now, apparently, at this airline, they had like firemen and safety people, and for whatever the reason, this group of people apparently just couldn't get the woman on the plane. So, she couldn't get on the plane, she couldn't get home, and she got sick, and 2 days later, she passed away. Now, this is a horrible and terrible thing for anybody to go through and to happen to someone that you care about. Losing a loved one is never easy. But it begs the question, do you blame the airline or do you blame the husband who didn't want to take her husband to a doctor or a hospital in former communist Hungary? He didn't trust the doctors there. So he didn't want to take his wife to a doctor in a former communist country. All I, all I let me just say this. First off, as a very big guy myself, I'm a big guy. I know the hassle it can be to travel. Okay? So I understand that it's a pain in the ass to try to travel. I know that airlines like put you on restrictions. You have to buy 2 seats and stuff. And I can understand apparently they paid for all this, but they couldn't get on the plane. All I got to say is that if I'm dying and I'm in another country, I am so sick I could die. All I know is that my butt will be in a hospital in this country. If I die, I'm not going to die in a hotel room because I was too stubborn or scared to go to a doctor in another country. I may not be able to speak the language, but I would be there, and if I was with someone, I would expect them to be there and to watch everything that happened. You watch. You ask questions. You tell them to get on the phone to the American consulate or whatever and find a translator. Whatever it takes, but you put my butt in that hospital. Okay? I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die in a hotel room. You're going to put me in a hospital. I'm not going to die in a hotel room. It's simple as that. So, who do you blame here? The husband who didn't trust the doctors in a foreign country, or the airlines? Personally, I don't blame the airlines because the airlines didn't have to go through everything that they did. They could have just said, "Oh well, can't get on. You have to get to the next flight when we'll have the seatbelt situation taken care of." They tried. They tried. Why wouldn't you take your wife to a hospital if she was that sick? That's all I have to say on that, because I would die in a hospital. I wouldn't die in a hotel room. That's just me. And the final situation that I want to talk about is this whole big brouhaha about the fake geek girl situation. Yes, apparently real geeks are getting upset and calling out girls who like to cosplay at cons or what have you. They like to cosplay. They want to get upset and say that they're not real geeky girls who they don't know anything about the character, or people who like they're not real fans of this, they're not real fans of that, they're not real, and they're basically wanting to like put like a they're like wanting to check them on like, hey, you don't know anything, well prove it that you know something about this character. What issue did this happen in? Who is this? Who is that? So the real geeks are supposed to be calling out the fake geek girls. Okay. Guys. What are you doing? Why? Why are you doing this? The first thing that comes to mind is you do somebody like this who's wearing a costume and they're wanting to show their love or whatever it is, cosplay or the character themselves or whatever. They're in costume, they're at the con. Why do you feel the need to check them on this? Why do you feel the need to call them out? Don't you realize that essentially the little geek guys who do this, or even if there's girls who do this, you realize that all of a sudden you become the bullies that probably used to bully you. I mean, come on, really? You see somebody in a Batgirl costume. You're gonna walk up to her and be like, "Hey, you don't deserve to wear a Batgirl costume. What issue did this girl appear? What happened to who? Who's Barbara Gordon? Why was she in a wheelchair? What happened in Batman issue 552? Whatever. Whatever. Why are you doing this? Let someone show their love of the cosplay itself or their love of the character. Why do you feel the need to want to check somebody? No. No. Secondly, guys, I've only been role playing. I've been role playing since 1989. I grew up in a small town. Some of my friends know what that's like. And I grew up in a town where the tracks, you get the little tracks from the churches and stuff that where D&D is evil. You will sell your soul to the devil for playing D&D. And I got to college, and the first thing I did was started playing role-playing games. Granted, the very first one I started playing was Shadowrun. That's a talk for a whole nother video. But guys, we often sit around together in rooms, rolling dice, playing in a fantasy world, wanting no one to judge us, and then we do the same thing to women who show an interest in something that infringes, quote unquote, infringes on something that we like. Thirdly, I can say secondly if I want to, but I know it's the third thing that I'm talking about. Thirdly, we are a heavily male-influenced culture of this geeky nerd geeks whatever, and I know from personal experience that there was a low number of women who would even get involved in something like this, but they may have always had an interest, but because it was so many guys, they never wanted to show an interest in something like this. But I'm seeing that more and more women are stepping up and coming forward and wanting to admit that they play games, they role play, they want to cosplay, they want to play like Xbox 360, PS3, what have you. They want to kick our butts. They want to kick butts with us, whatever. Guys, there used to be a time when like there would be like maybe one woman for a group of 20 guys that was playing. Now this number is growing for women. Why are we not embracing this? Frankly, also to put it on a base level, I'm really getting tired of looking at all you ugly guys. I really like to look at cute girls when they come in to play with us. Really? Really? And you want to drive them away? If you need to put it in the base terms, think of it that way. Okay, back to the more highbrow of us who are more intellectual, if we want to call it that. These women are finally feel like they can come forward and express themselves and finally be accepted. And the very ones who should be accepting them are pushing them away. Dude, why? Because that very cosplayer you never know could be the one who, if you actually take the time to go talk to them instead of judging them from afar, you never know. You might click with her and become like best friends or something. You never know. You never know who is a geek or a nerd. You never know. Why are you pushing people away? We need to be embracing people who like the things we like. Finally, we can like have like someone who would of the opposite sex who would enjoy the same thing we enjoy. That used to be a rare thing. It's not being so rare anymore. So just stop it. Stop it before I come mo slap all of you. I want to line you up against the wall and run down and just mo slap you. Like Mo from the Three Stooges. Smack, 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 smack. Smack, 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 smack. Just stop it, guys. Just stop it. Just stop it. Cut it out. Okay? Okay? Alright, well, I think that's about all I'm going to talk about. I think I'm going to probably try to make this a fairly regular thing to do the vlog on Sundays. I'm going to probably try to come up with things to talk about and post it up on Facebook, and actually I'm going to try to upload this on YouTube. So, um, yeah, we'll see how this turns out. Anyway, be easy, my friends. Take care.